First thing you come out and say is where your fringe is at. But all you guys, if I notice, your beards are you either got shaven beards, 5 o'clock shadows, or you're trimmed up. You're trimmed up, man. Or dreadlocks.
Yeah, but you keep the laws, huh? For though I should boast somewhat more of our authority, which the Lord hath given us for edification, and not for your destruction, I should not be ashamed, that I may not seem as if I would terrify you by letters. For his letters, say they, are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak, and his speech contemptible. They probably called Paul a bum back then. Let such and one think this, that such as we are in word by letters, when we are absent, such will we be also in deed when we are present. For we dared not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves.
Oh, read that again. That's Nate.
For we dared not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves.
Yeah, that's Nate. Hey, we're not comparing ourselves with you, man. Hey, we're not trying to show the world that we all have the same color garment and we can go out in the field and left face, right face, at ease. Oh, we are your. Well, that goes back to the brand, the Nate brand.
We are your wives.
That's the liturgy, and we see right through it, man. And these guys that are slow of spirit, right? these slow brains, man. They fall for that shit, man.
But they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise.
And that's Nate. You comparing yourself among yourself are not wise. You made a statement that we've been on the street corner for 10 years and we haven't accomplished nothing. Do you see all the GMS camps out there around the world?
But we will not boast of things without our measure, but according to the measure of the rule which the Most High hath distributed to us, a measure to reach even unto you.
Yeah, because you said in one of your videos, we are not the most, how do you say it?
We are not the
biggest. We are
Israelites.
We are not the most famous, but the Most High has saw fit to make us bring this knowledge out on a higher level. What you mean a higher level? You don't know all the scriptures, man. Yeah, we went from Alex to Nate. Hey, we still here for you, Alex. All right, just keep watching. Go ahead.
For we stretch not ourselves beyond our measure, as though we reached not unto you. For we are come as far as to you also in preaching the gospel of Yahushai, not boasting of things without our measure, that is, of other men's labors, but having hope when your faith is increased, that we shall be enlarged by you according to our rule abundant.
Oh, read that again.
Not boasting of things without our measure, that is, of other men's labors, but having hope.
Now, you had certain guys that'll take old videos of Yeshai and Lahab. This is the way it used to be. That's when they had the truth. Oh, so you mean the truth is dead? The truth just died. When Lahab and Yeshai and them fell out, that means the truth died with them, right? Go ahead.
This is Philippians 3:13. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and looking forth unto those things which are before.
Yeah, because we're not thinking about about Lahab and Yeshaya. We speak about him, but we're not saying, I hope Lahab comes back. I hope he repents. I hope Yeshaya comes back. I hope Gazak comes back. They ain't coming back. They're going to be visited by the missiles, man. Go ahead.
Back in 2 Corinthians 10 and 15. Not boasting of things without our measure, that is, of other men's labors, but having hope when your faith is increased.
Faith-based Israelite. You're looking to increase your faith. All right? Increase your faith. Go ahead.
That we shall be enlarged.
Why? Because we're faith-based Israelites.
That we shall be enlarged by you according to our rule abundantly, to preach the gospel in the regions beyond you.
That's our job. That's our job, to preach the gospel beyond the regions of beyond you. Go ahead.
And not to boast in other men's line of things made ready to our hand. Right, because
Read that again.
to preach the gospel in the regions beyond, and not to boast in other men's line of things made ready to our hand.
Yeah, like the starter kit, camp kit, the garments. Hey, you know what, man? You got to buy them garments, man. Because the scriptures tell you in the Apocrypha that your wife, in the scriptures that your wife are supposed to make your garments. That's part of his brand. That's the Nate brand, man. That's the Israel United in Geist brand. Okay, you got to get the garments. Okay, you got to get that. If a brother says, well, look, my wife is making, no, you can't have it that way. No, well, wait a minute. Where's that in the law that you got to have Captain Nate have them women make the garments for you?
Yeah.
All right?
Yep, that's right.
But he that
We know you, Nate. We know your little schemes, man. Them guys don't know. Their eyes are not open. Okay, like I said, that's the Nate brand. The Israel United in Geist brand. Go ahead.
But he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. For not he that commendeth himself is approved, but whom the Lord commendeth.
And I ain't worried about what you say about me. As long as I'm doing what the Lord tells me to do, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai tells me to do. All right?
Yeah, he did commend himself because he called himself elder.
Right, he called himself elder. We didn't call ourselves elder. And the reason why you called yourself elder before, a couple years back, you called yourself brother. Why all of a sudden now you're an elder? You were a high priest, brother, then a high priest, now you're an elder. Why all of a sudden you and Barak Shah are elders? Because people started calling us elders, and we said, okay, we are the elders. We're the elders now. So now everybody wants to be an elder. There's only a handful of elders, man. Yeah. And you're looking at them. Nate, you're not one of the elders. Now, you may be one of the elders in the future if you're of the elect. But that's hard to see. That's extremely hard to see. Anyway, let's get back to Esau. Give me the book of Obadiah. And start from the 7th verse. And we're going to read down.
This is the book of Obadiah, which is 1 chapter long, verse 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee.
Yeah, because that's what's happening now as we speak. All the allies of the United States is slowly, but they'll deal with you. They'll play like they're with you to receive that aid. But they're not feeling you, man. And when the time comes, they're going to all shoot missiles on you, including the allies of England, Germany, France, all those different, and including Russia, NATO. Go ahead.
They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
Wait a minute. Every one. Every one. That means there's not going to be any survivors among Esau. Yeah, read that again. Read that nice and slow, so Bubble Eyes can hear it. Go ahead.
And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
So this is why you white people are going to pay by going into slavery and being exterminated. Ultimately, you're going to be exterminated. This is not about a color thing. This is not about you are on top of me, now I'm going to be on top of you. I'm going to rule over you. This is a spiritual thing.